So this is my garden here in Halifax. I moved in here last year in May, and so it was all lawn at that time. And so what we did is we got a bunch of soil and we put cardboard down, and then we put the soil on top. And I really like doing garden design. That's kind of what I do a lot. I call myself a garden doula. I help people birth their gardens, because there's a lot of people that want a garden in town, and it's nice to have someone come and like help make sure they got all the pieces in there, and then cheer them on. So we laid this out so that there's a main pathway that swings towards the compost piles. You can see the compost piles in the back over there. We'll make our way there. And then we have a bunch of beds. And the beds are all laid out so that you can reach the middle of them from both sides. And then there's little bitty pathways. I really love doing my pathways with wood chips here, because then your feet stay all clean and dry, and then you have less weeds. You have occasional weeds, but a lot less. And I always keep my beds mulched with straw. I think that's one of the key things about gardening. Exposed soil is wounded soil, kind of like your eyes or your skin. The sun is really intense, and you know, you get burns, and so the mulch is like a cover on the soil, and it helps protect all of the soil flora and fauna underneath, because plants don't eat dirt. They're fed by bacteria and worms and nematodes and all those kind of things. So all my beds are mulched with straw, and I haven't taken the straw off yet this year because it's still so cold. And look, there's a worm.
Let's see.
There's a little worm right there. The mulch also, so you can see, you know, if you look on a bed that's naked, you won't find worms on the surface, and the birds would eat them. So the mulch really helps protect. Oh, another cool thing while we're digging in here. See this white lacy business? This is mycelium. So I've got more perennial gardens there. In my gardens, I tend to do a mixture of foods and medicine and beauty, and bird food, because I like to eat, and I take medicine, and I really like to make my own medicine, because then I feel like I'm even healthier. And flowers are really good for the pollinators and for in my bathroom. They make the world nice, and you can give them to people and bring them to potlucks, and it makes the world a better place. And bird food is just really great for biodiversity, and they help keep the insect populations down, and birds are mythical and magical, and as pretty as flowers. I think compost is kind of like making cheese or like making miso. It's like a really concentrated, nutritious food source. It's kind of like making lasagna. Like, you know, with lasagna, you layer the noodles and then the like rich goopy stuff. The metaphor in your compost pile, the noodles are like the dry brown carbohydrates, and the rich goopy proteiny kind of stuff is all your kitchen scraps or your manure or those kind of things. So you layer those all up, and so you can see this is the working one. I obviously need to turn it and seal it. I haven't done that yet this year. And then I have a nice thick hat on this one, but then somewhere deep in here is the compost that I'll get to use this year. You can see a little bit of it there. Yeah, and so it's basically just soil, but really, really nutritious.